Grace and peace, beloved St. Lucas, and good morning, and welcome to this morning devotion time. A quick couple thoughts. Over the weekend, I decided to rewatch season 2 of The Mandalorian, and which is a Star Wars kind of esque story. But there's the main character is the Mandalorian, and when we first introduced to him, he is told he's been raised in the way he believe of the Mandalore, the people from this planet that they call Mandalorians. He doesn't take off his mask. There's a whole bunch, or his helmet. There's a whole bunch of these rules that this is the way. But in season 2, he encounters challenges to what he's been taught as the way. And there's one episode in particular that I just watched a few days ago where he meets other Mandalorians, people from the same planet that um, he's from, and they take off their helmets. And his world begins to collapse around him because he's been taught, well, this is the way, this is what you do. You don't do that. And there are these other Mandalorians that they do. He's being opened to more perspective, to a greater world around him. That the way might not necessarily be as strict in these things as he's been taught, he's been raised in. He's been immersed in this tradition that's told him that this is the one and only way. And throughout the course of this second season, he has these profound experiences. Some of them are small in the show, but they're big to him that challenge that. And I think about a lot of us as people of faith. Here at St. Luke's, we come from all kinds of different faith tradition backgrounds, different traditions, and we all come together at St. Luke's, a Wesleyan church, a United Methodist church, where we are a tradition that is open to more and more people. We're a big tent church. We have a theology of an ever expansive God, and that God is seeking to be in relationship, to reconcile things with all of humanity. So I wonder if you can relate to our hero, the Mandalorian, while he's on his journey to figure out who he really is and what is the way for him to connect with these new friends he's made, this new community he's developing. Is that something that you can relate to? There may be things that you were immersed in, traditions that you were handed down that that as you've grown older, as you've grown in faith, as you've read scriptures for yourself and thought and listened and gained perspective, that have said, well, maybe not so much so strictly that way. Maybe you're developing new vision, new perspective, as you're developing new community, people who will care for you and embrace you, no matter what the way may be for you, allowing you to see God's grace and mercy in new and creative and profound ways. We've been talking about the story, the journey, and we'll do that all throughout this year. And I think the Mandalorian's journey so far is one that we can all relate to. And I pray that as you go throughout this week, you might continue to discover that God is bigger than the small confines of what we humans try to push God into, to contain God into. And then I want to offer this prayer to you from Leslie Weatherhead, who is just a wonderful, profound preacher, thinker in London. He wrote one of my favorite books, The Will of God. And so this is a simple prayer that I think speaks to what God's been challenging my heart with, especially over the weekend. From the cowardice that shrinks from new truth, from the laziness that is content with half truths, from the arrogance which thinks it knows all truth. O God of truth, deliver us. Amen. Grace and peace, friends.